Together, we are unstoppable.
Sorry, Ramattra, I hate to cut you off. You can only bring 4 of your little microwave friends. This game is 5v5, thank you. This actually isn't the first time we're being introduced to Mr. Ultron over here. At the end of the Storm Rising mission, a cutscene plays where Mercy tries to finesse an unspoken Riz by asking for
an introduction
to Ramattra right in front of our boy Genji, but Doomfist apparently was miles ahead of her.
You have my attention.
Yeah, 3.5 years later, that is. This released in 2019. Anyway, Ramattra's purpose was to lead bots into defeating battles, which is what being a tank in Overwatch is all about. His primary fire shoots lean out of his grape staff with a clip size of 100 projectiles, meaning you can fire for a good amount of time before you gotta load up more purple fruity pebbles. There's no damage fall off with the staff no matter how far you are from the enemy. Not that this should matter, because a tank should usually be the front line of the team, but some of you might not understand that as a concept. Some people on the internet were freaking out by the crazy amount of damage that his headshots do. Just remember the unlikely possibility that the person you're aiming at is standing completely still like this. As a matter of fact, his projectiles fire pretty slow, so you'll have to predict the enemy's movement. Basically, do what 90% of the Overwatch community doesn't. But that's okay if you have trouble aiming, because this character comes with an ability called Transmutation Circle. You throw it over the corpses of your dead teammate, and if you land it correctly, it will bring them back to life. Careful though, if you do it incorrectly, you could end up losing your whole arm, or even worse, your whole body, and just have your soul living inside of a body of metal. That's how Ramattra became... Wait, this is the wrong script. Okay, it's actually called Ravenous Vortex, and it's used as a slowing ability. That's right, another slow, just like Sojourn's. You know, the DPS character who's the #1 hero played across basically every top-ranked player? Yeah, we gave the new tank her same ability. It does fire a bit differently, though, not activating until it hits the ground, and it has an arc, just like my back. I have scoliosis and will probably have severe back pain in my future. This ability also humbles people who have been blessed with height, as it forces people into the ground. You cannot jump or fly if you're within the radius of these purple satanic markings. This is official Overwatch art of Ramattra using his ability on Zenyatta and forcing him to put his feet on the ground. Okay, the lore actually is that they met each other while Ramattra was learning as a monk from Mandata. They became, quote, as close as brothers until Ramattra started becoming self-conscious that he was built with hair while everyone else was bald. Out of pure rage, he left and started a movement of his own, Null Sector, with the intent of killing humans. Zenyatta didn't think that was very cash money of him, so they haven't talked since. While they understandably have their differences, I'm sure they can mend their relationship on the commonality and shared belief that the shop's skin prices are still too high. If you have a Ramattra on your team up against a flying character, I already know the amount of times that Ramattra is stopping at nothing to bring that echo to the ground. It doesn't even activate if you can hit it directly on the enemy, by the way, only when it touches the ground. However, the vertical hitbox on the Vortex isn't actually that high, unfortunately. Flying characters are usually much higher than the effective range of this ability. I think it's much more of a funny ability than a competitively effective one. As well.
Oh, really?
No way! Oh, he just shut that Hanzo. Did you not climb the wall?
Yeah, I kept trying to climb.
Use the Vortex to deny any type of fun from jump pads too.
Oh my god, get him off of me. Wait, you gotta get up.
Oh, I canceled my ult, no! He's still ulting, I'm gonna die, bro.
Wait, stay in it, stay in it. Hold it up with the fort.
I will not let him. Yes! His next ability is his shield, which he rips out of the ground. Hold down your alternate fire and release to place the shield wherever you want. It works like a Mei wall, just not as annoying. Oh look, we put our shields right next to each other. That's so cute. It's actually the worst shield in the game though. The cooldown after you activate it is 15 whole seconds, so you better hope that you place the shield down at the right time. It's a pretty beefy shield with 1000 health, except for the fact that it leaves faster than a dad does for milk, because it only stays there for 5 seconds. That's not nearly enough time to taunt the enemy by emoting safely behind your shield. However, you can instantly activate it within a pretty long radius from you, which is good against enemies that are raining down hellfire from a map's high ground. If you're doing the rare activity of actually pushing forward with your team, remember how little time your shield has and try to activate it last minute with a little bit of space in front of you so you have room to walk forward as well. Lord knows you're never going to be using the shield for your teammates. If they're right by your side, the shield protects both of you when you place it. If they're role-playing as the Far from Spider-Man Far From Home and start getting shot at miles away from you, you put a shield in front of them and it's only sideways. It doesn't protect anything. It's their fault for not trusting your sick bronze aim and capabilities as a tank. Now, his final ability with a muscle icon uses his Ravenous Vortex to force his balls so low to the ground that his voice drops a whole octave.
Greetings. Your miscalculations will cost you everything.
The ability activates his Nemesis form, where he takes inspiration from Spider-Man's Dr. Octavius and uses 4 robotic arms. You basically inject Omnic steroids and become an absolute beefcake, except there's no beef or cake. Okay, you get bigger. It gives you 150 more health and the cockiness to no longer rely on your staff for anything. Instead of firing your Waluigi pebbles at enemies, punch the air so hard it creates waves of damaging impact that actually travel through shields and any allies who are trying to be human shields for their teammates. They work like shotgun pellets that get fired from your knuckles, kind of like Doomfist. You can no longer shield with your staff in this form, so instead you just raise your arms to block, like Doomfist. Are we running out of ideas? Hopefully not, but these arm shields can be activated and deactivated whenever in Nemesis form. Just make sure you don't let anyone behind you, as they only block stuff from the front. I haven't even told you the coolest part of what changes about you in Nemesis form. Your ravenous Vortex! I'm joking, that's actually the one ability that stays the same. Out of all the heroes that have two different types of forms, I think Ramattra is the second scariest. Obviously, the scarier alternative form of a character is Baby Diva, as she becomes so small that it's impossible to have a hitbox on her body, therefore making her objectively unkillable. I'm pretty sure that makes Ramattra have the most amount of abilities in the game. Fish, you're forgetting about Echo. She technically can use every ability available in the game when you ult as her. No! With all these abilities in your arsenal, don't feel limited by the long cooldowns you have. The whole idea of C3POs, Ramattra's kit, is to fight in an Omnic form until you push close enough to turn into Nemesis form and finish people off with your shotgun fist waves. However, if you're sneaky and lucky enough that your enemy is blasting Taylor Swift so they can't hear your loud tank footsteps, you might get the jump on them right in their faces. Don't let that stop you from throwing down a shield before you start piercing your victims with fist bullets. The shield won't deactivate when you switch forms, and the cooldown will continue running for when you want to quickly put up another shield when Nemesis form is done. Now, if you think all these abilities being thrown out by one singular hero is too much, I haven't even brought up the ultimate yet. Best part is it's one of those ultimates that lets you use all your abilities while it's active. Basically, Robot Barney activates a purple M&M above his head that sucks the life force from anyone within the ultimate's circular radius. I'm ulting, walk in. Yup. One more. Oh! Gotta do it. Wait, guys, help me. Okay, thank you.
You're fine. Yep.
I can't cancel the pizza. So this robot has an ultimate that forms a circle around him, and without having to aim, it damages all the enemies within the radius. I can't think of where the inspiration came from. This ultimate is actually so busted though. As long as it's damaging at least one person, it will not run out. Imagine the round is nearing its end, and both teams are becoming voluntary rag dolls, jumping in front of the barrage of bullets on the point with only 2 health. You literally can't leave the point or you lose the whole game. Well, guess who but none other than Mr. Iron Giant is just standing there existing with his never-ending ultimate, whittling away at you and your team's health. Oh, that's a skill issue. Just shoot him before his ult kills you. I can promise you this Terminator isn't going to be using his aim to kill you at this point. Why would anyone? Funny purple ult go burr. Ramattra just needs to hold up his arms and tell the enemy their damage can reserve a different date to be effective.
Block like your life depends on it.
Yep, I'm blocking, doing my thing.
Full house now. You're full house.
Alright, now we take this. Where's Kiriko? I actually have no idea where she is.
You guys are never gonna end your ults.
The arms can be held up as long as the ultimate is up. I would personally just take the L at that point. As excited as I am for a new tank, Ramattra has a sad future ahead of him. His whole thing is that he hates humans and only fights for Omnics. Newsflash, there's barely any Omnics throughout the hero roster to begin with. Only 1 tank is allowed per team, so he can never fight alongside Orisa. Zenyatta and Ramattra haven't spoke since he started the whole human murdering null sector, so I feel like that's gonna be pretty awkward when they reunite. Echo is cool and all, but her whole thing is that she likes to become whoever she's fighting, and a lot of the time she becomes a human, and I feel like that won't sit well with Ramattra. The only other Omnic in the game, Bastion, doesn't speak. However, Ramattra can somehow understand the beeps coming out of Bastion's mouth, so I guess he can become friends with him.
You appear to have a bird following you.
Oh my god, his voice is so cool.
Interesting. Well, if I see any twigs, I will let you know.
That's so cute. I hope that I've convinced you all to become Ramattra mains, because I do not plan on being a tank player anytime soon. Surely I did a great job at showcasing the new hero. And remember, all you just learned about Ramattra was from yours truly, a gold tank player. Click these 2 videos right here. Did you notice how I didn't waste any of your time doing that? Yeah, that's because I'm just click the videos.
The short shorts are sending me right now.